Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to load custom sprites and make some changes in editing within there. When we started the game, notice how I had created this little start button, and I actually created it in here. Instead of clicking load sprite, I did a resource create sprite, and I clicked edit, and I just edited it in here. And you can do that actually just double clicking on it, and then it gives you a palette much like paint on the computer, and you can make your changes here. Click the check when you're done, the check, and so forth. The other thing you can do is when you do resource create sprite, you can actually click load sprite, and then you can browse out and find an image you want to use, maybe one you used in creating GIMP or something. You can check remove background. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. The best thing to do is to export it from GIMP as a PNG if it's a custom made sprite. Alright, so I click open, and it did a pretty decent job of removing that background. And the other thing you want to check is here, the size. 225 by 225 is really too big. Characters are generally 32 by 32 or 64 by 64. So let's click Edit Sprite, Transform, Stretch. We're going to keep the aspect ratio, and we're going to drop this to 64. And then say OK. Hit the check mark, center, and then OK. And now we have this little owl guy here as a character if we want. Same thing with your objects. When you're going to create these, you don't have to have a sprite attached to an object. Sometimes objects are just placeholders. You might have something here that has like a timing event, so that after so many seconds a monster spawns, that kind of thing. And I'll go into a little more detail in that with that later. The other thing you want to check is your backgrounds. This was should be a custom background here. Apparently these didn't load right, but if you actually look at your rooms, you can assign a background to it. So for this, I actually just changed the settings and changed the background color to it, draw a background color. You could actually select a background you had drawn. And again, you want to stick to general screen resolution sizes, which are anywhere from 800 to 600, or 800 by 600 to 1024 by 768 pixels. You also want to, if you're doing a platform, that's going to be a little different, like a scrolling platformer. Your settings will be different on that. And again, that'll be a more advanced video in which I go into that. That's it for this video.